I got Brother Lyles here. Tell me what your birth name is. I know what it is, and
James Morris Lyles Jr.
And you were born
June the 10th, 1919.
1919. Okay, and the reason I'm here is because about a year and a half ago, I met Brother Lyles out at the Hamilton farm in Chester, and found out that he was my first cousin once removed, Rufus Alexander Oliphant III, who I have the same name. He was his roommate at the Citadel.
Yeah,
and,
roommate.
Yeah, and so I didn't know that you existed, and if I had known that, I forgot it. But I didn't know you were here, and I'm I always heard about Sonny. That's what they called him all my life, and so now I have this great opportunity to come here and let you tell us about Sonny. And can I start with this and tell me, did you know Sonny before the Citadel?
I did. Ellick. No, I guess it was while we were at the Citadel. Ellick was in love with a girl from here.
Margie
Elliott. And they were very much in love. She loved him and he loved her. And
they dated in high school? They were together in high school?
No. But we did... no, I didn't know Ellick in high school.
No, he and Marjorie, they dated in high school?
Margie was, I guess she was in college then.
Okay.
Yeah, she was at the university. But Ellick was infatuated with her, and Ellick's mother and father, Mr. Ellick and Miss Sarah, used to bring her down to the Citadel to the dances. And they always brought a bowl of stewed apples. Ellick loved stewed apples. So we always had stewed apples after they had been there. But they would bring Margie down for the dances and all. And after we graduated, Ellick went into the Air Force. Am I getting ahead of myself?
No, you're good.
Ellick went right into the Air Force. About a third of our class went on into the Air Force. And the others, they split us up. My group went down to the Caribbean. Some of them went to the Philippines, and some to Australia. But we left early. This is before Pearl Harbor. And
what year would that have been?
That would have been in
1940?
the fall of 1941.
41.
Just before Pearl Harbor.
And y'all had graduated. Y'all were able to graduate.
We graduated and had commissions, ROTC commissions. But they split us up. Well, the crowd that went to the Philippines surrendered on Corregidor. There were 11 of them, and none of them got back. Then some of them went to Australia, and they came on up into New Guinea. And I went to the posts of San Juan, Puerto Rico. We were the defenses for the Panama Canal, the outer reaches. But I stayed there until Christmas of 1942, and came back and got married and bounced around from one army post to another, and I transferred into the infantry. And I went to Europe as an infantry officer. I had to go through Fort Benning again and learn all the weapons and everything. But that's where I ended up in Europe.
Tell me about this picture. This picture of Sonny that you and him were, I guess this would have been after the Citadel, y'all went training?
That was, yes, that was ROTC camp.
That was why you were going to the Citadel?
We had just graduated.
Okay, you just graduated.
For some reason, they had polio in Charleston our junior year. We were supposed to go in our junior year, but we were a year late going.
So that was where again? That picture was taken in
Fort Barrancas, Pensacola, Florida.
When y'all actually went into the Air Force, was it called the Air Force? It was called the Air Force then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when y'all went into the Air Force, did you have any contact with Sonny after?
I did not. When he left here to go for training, when did he go to Europe?
I'm not sure. I have that, but I can't.
Well, it was during the summer of 1942, and I was still in Puerto Rico when he went. He went on to Europe, and
you never heard from him again.
Never did. I heard that he had gotten shot down at Saint-Nazaire, France.
I'm gonna back up a little bit. So, you met Sonny when you got to the Citadel.
Yeah.
How many years were y'all roommates?
We were roommates my sophomore year and my junior year and half of my senior year.
So that means that y'all picked each other to be roommates then. Y'all chose each other.
Yeah, we picked.
You got to the sophomore year.
Alec was rooming with a fellow from Florida, a great big old fellow, and for some reason they split up. And I was rooming with a young fellow from Gastonia. He didn't come back, so we got together. And
he'd had enough. Yeah. Or flunked out or whatever.
Well, Alec's interest lay in that football team. He was the manager of the football team. He and Tommy Lane.
You know, my daddy did that too, I believe. He was the manager.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Sonny, and you know, they called my daddy Sonny too. That was his nickname. Did you know my daddy when he was at the Citadel?
No. He was after me. He came after me. Yeah.
So you met Sonny when were y'all in the same company, your freshman year?
I believe we were.
So you met him. Y'all became roommates. So tell me about his personality.
Well, Alec, I called him Alec, was so involved with the athletics department over there. Every afternoon he was over there for the practices, football team. And I was first sergeant of whatever company we were in down there, and that took my time. That's a hard job, a working job. So I was putting my time in trying to run the company, and Alec was running the football team, so we had it.
Y'all were big shots.
Well, sometimes we would go out on the campus with our golf clubs and hit some golf balls. And Alec had a terrible slice. When he was going to hit a ball straight down the highway, he always turned about 45 degrees to the left, and the ball would go around in a curve, you know, and come back in. He always sliced. But
does that mean he was a hacker? Does that make him a hacker?
Yeah, I guess so.
He was an athlete. He enjoyed athletics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what about Marjorie? Was that his only serious girlfriend while you knew him?
Yeah.
So he wasn't cutting out on her. He didn't.
Well, that lasted. When Ellick was killed, Margie was just completely went all to pieces, and she joined the OSS and went to Europe. And
So she was devastated.
yeah,
So that was true love. That was true love.
yeah,
That was true
Yeah.
love.
oh yeah, they had kept in touch with each other. I believe it was about in the fall of 1942 that Ellick was killed, if I'm not mistaken. It was while I was in Puerto Rico. I remember I heard about it.
Yeah, I've got all that information. I can't recall it without looking at it.
Well, I can pretty well recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll trust your memory. So let me talk about Marjorie a little bit. So they were in love, and what happened to her after the war? I'm assuming she got married, had children.
Well, she joined the OSS. That's the Office of, what is it? They were the secret people, that went in ahead of the military. And I'm not sure when she went to France, but the week that the war ended, I was in Paris, and I looked Margie up, and I said, Margie, let's go out to supper. She said, I've got a date tonight, I can't go. I said, well, I'm going. She said, it's been so cold here, and they wouldn't keep the apartment warm. Said it's been cold. Well, that didn't sit too well either, because I was in the infantry. I was outside, and so I went by myself, went up to what was the name of that? The big show up on the hill. I went up there by myself, and Margie was going with a fellow named Sherman, who was in the OSS with her, and she married him and lived in Switzerland for a number of years.
Was he an American? Was Sherman an American?
Yeah, he was, but for some reason he had
Business there.
connections in Switzerland. So they lived in Switzerland for several years. And Margie came back, and they settled, I think it was in Connecticut. And she came back and forth to Windsboro. I saw some of her.
She had children?
I don't know.
Her name was Marjorie what?
Elliot.
Elliot. Okay.
Elliot.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was pretty?
Oh, yeah. She was a wonderful girl.
And she was born and raised in Winnsboro?
In Windsboro. Yeah. She was in the same class at Mount Zion as me, and we walked to school every morning.
What was Mount Zion? The high school or?
It was the whole thing.
Everything.
Grammar school and high school.
Well, then then you would have had what? You would have only had what? 11 or 10 grades?
Had 11.
11.
11 grades.
And you made it.
Yeah, I made it. Well, there were 3 of us who competed academically from the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th grades. And it was just a fraction of a point in the difference, but it ended up I was the valedictorian, and Boyce Bryce was salutatorian. He got an appointment to West Point and was killed over in the Battle of the Bulge.
See any kin to Sam Bryce? Those guys that are over there in Chester side.
They probably were, yeah.
Did you know Sam Bryce?
Oh, yeah.
You know his wife, and you remember John Scott, the son?
I've met him.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, does he still live
No,
in
he died. He died.
He
I
died.
think I know Neville's alive, but he's more of my age.
Yeah, Sam Bryce had played professional baseball, you know.
I've forgotten that. I probably
Yeah,
knew that.
Yeah, I've forgotten which team he played with, but he played professional ball. And
But they still have quite a few acres over there near Chester County and Fairfield County.
oh yeah.
Um, so
Every time I go to Blackstock, I go by and I see his little store there
yeah,
and the house where he lived.
yeah, it's
Sam.
still yeah. I remember his wife taught school. Miss Bryce did.
I believe so.
Yeah, she was pretty sweet. So back to Sonny. So he did a lot of athletics while y'all were at Citadel. Was there anything? And I'll tell you, I went to the Citadel to summer school because everybody in my family went, but I made sure that I flunked out so I didn't have to go. And I ended up going to Winthrop instead. But I didn't realize that I was making sure that I flunked out, but I didn't participate like I was supposed to. Now I have a child at the Citadel, so
Eric, as I call him, you call him Sonny,
yeah,
was a very outgoing person. He was an extrovert, if there ever was one. He met everybody, knew everybody, and his close friends were Watt Eppert. He was one of them, lost at Corregidor, and Scooter Willard. They ran the Willard Battery Company in Charlotte, I guess.
Willard Battery.
Yeah, Willard Battery Company. Big, pretty good sized thing. But he and Scooter were great friends. Scooter Willard.
What happened to Scooter?
He survived the war and came back and came to several of our reunions.
How many of y'all came back? What percentage of Citadel cadets that you went to war with didn't come back?
Well, there was 140 in our graduating class, and about 35 of them were killed.
They're on the wall where Sonny is.
Yeah.
At the chapel.
Well, you know, we were at the age group that they just threw us in wherever they had a need. No training.
Yeah.
We just went in. And consequently, there was a lot of casualties.
They just needed people.
Yeah, they lost a lot of them.
There would have been a lot more if Roosevelt hadn't pushed it.
Yeah. But it's hard to realize that was, 70-something years ago?
Yes, it's hard for me to realize that I've been here for 57 years.
57.
I feel like I'm about 12, emotionally.
Yeah. You know, I enjoyed your wife.
She likes you too.
Up at the Hound's house.
I want to, she's at the beach right now, and I spoke with her last night, and I told her where I was coming to see you, and I want to set something up with you that I can bring her back, and we'll take you out to eat.
Yeah.
We'd like to do that soon.
Oh yeah, well, we'll just go out. I'm not a heavy eater, but
well, you can eat a salad, and y'all can talk, and I can be introverted and let y'all be extroverted. I have the ability to be very extroverted, but I can also go in a box and be very comfortable. My father was like Sonny. He was very gifted in communication and people, and until he had his stroke, his gift for making a living was selling. And
now your mother was who?
Joan.
Oh.
Her name was Joan Bolin. She was from Columbia.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her. Yeah, well,
Well, you remember anything about her? Or
well, I remember your daddy. I did not know her, but when Elliot was lost, he came down. Your daddy was from Greenville.
yeah,
Uh, the what's the lady that wrote the history book that we studied?
Mary Sims Oliphant.
Mary Sims Oliphant. That's the history we studied.
Mary
in
C.
school.
Sims. That was my grandmother.
Yeah, but your daddy came.
She was a little tiny lady. She was not. She was short.
Well, she.
Yeah.
Elliot came down and took your daddy's place after he was lost, and
Yeah, my daddy came and took Elliot's place.
that's right. He certainly did.
So after Elliot, Sonny died, was killed. How many times do you think that you came over here and saw you called them Mr. Elliot and Sarah? I call them Unky and Aunt Sarah.
Well, when I came back from Puerto Rico in Christmas of 1942, I went to Chester to see Miss Sarah and Mr. Elliot, and it was pretty emotional. And I used to go back to see them whenever I would come back and so forth. After the war, Coot Gladden and Tilly McClintock were working for Mr. Ellick out there. You remember them?
Oh, well, Miss Tilly, she was you called him Coot. That was Ross's brother, wasn't it? Or was that Ross? Because
That was Ross.
Ross had a brother too that died young that I think worked for Unky too, but
No, that was Ross.
yeah. Miss Tilly and Ross, I owe my whatever success I have, and I'm fairly successful, I owe that to them because they're the ones that brought me into the business and taught me the basics. And if it hadn't have been for them, I hate to think of what I'd be doing right now.
Dexter Wallace was a friend, and one of them was named Horner. I've forgotten what his first name was, but they had all known Ellick, and they were in the group in Chester there.
Well, there was a Jimmy Horner, but I'm not sure. There were other Horners.
I'm not sure what
they were. I think they had the Thomas and Howard
That's right.
distributor.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which ones would have been Ellick's or Sonny's age.
Yeah.
When let me go back to the emotional part for a minute, but when you went back and to see, tell me about how hard was it for Unky, or Mr. Ellick as you call him. Of course it was tough for my Aunt Sarah, but for him, when you went to see him, he was a broken man.
He was. You know, Ellick was an only son, and he was their whole life. And when he left, that was it. But Albert came down from Greenville, and he filled that void. That was a wonderful thing, too.
You know, he, the way it's always been told to me by Miss Tilly, who married Johnny Roberts and others, is that Mr. Ellick, Unky, was a strong man. He was strong. My daddy was not strong like Unky, and Unky was domineering. And when I know I always heard one time that Daddy did some things that Unky didn't approve of, and uh, and my mother was a strong woman,
Yeah.
and that she was the only one that could really do anything with Unky because she was more his equal, and she would tell him like it was, and that so she was the one that could keep him intact when necessary.
I used to go by to see Mr. Eric sometimes at the office. He had that old propeller off of.
I've got it.
You've got it?
I've got it.
That's off of an old JN4.
Yeah.
Jenny.
Yeah.
That was a trainer.
I'm going to get you. I will send you a copy of his memoir. It's
He has memoirs.
Yeah. Of
I
Mr.
don't think he ever went overseas. He trained in this country, didn't he? Or did
That's
he?
right. No, he was pre-World War One.
Yeah.
Before I leave, I'm gonna get your mailing address, and tomorrow I'll mail you a hard copy of his memoirs. They're really quite funny.
You know, I would like that.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Sarah was Dr. Pryor's daughter.
Yeah.
Dr. Pryor established the hospital
Yes.
in Chester.
You know that she was on the way back to Converse. I think she was 18, and he met her over in Carlisle. Apparently, he had been courting her, and Carlisle was apparently a big switching station. A lot of trains go through there.
Yeah.
He met her over there, took her off the train, and they went off and eloped.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Dr. Pryor did not approve of this.
Now, do you live in his big old house on the hill?
I
up
do.
there?
I do.
Yeah.
And I've been there since the 80s now.
That's a beautiful house.
Yeah, it is nice.
That house was built while we were at the Citadel, I think.
It was built in 1939.
39, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
And I was told it seems like they might have built that house for, I want to say it's either $7,000 or $9,000.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I've been told. And I might even have a copy of the bill of sale somewhere. I might have a copy of the, because I got the house plans, and I'll have to. I think I might have that.
I remember they were building that house while we were at the Citadel.
Yeah, they had originally lived over on Foot Street in Chester, and that's I know where the house is that Elliot grew up in. I don't know who owns it now, but I know the house.
Clear. Well, I have many memories. Wish I could go back about 50 or 60 years and start over again.
Yeah, if only if you knew what you knew now.
Yeah.
Well, you'd probably have about 50 children out there right now.
Yeah. Well, I came back, didn't know what I was going to do, and I worked with my father in the cotton business. Mr. Oliphant was in the cotton business there. My father here.
What'd your father do? Was he a cotton broker?
Broker. But I worked a couple of years with him, and there wasn't enough profit in it for the both of us, so I looked for something else to do, and there was a need for a lumber company in Winsboro. George Young had gone broke, and the crowd in Camden was looking for a place to come in. Columbia Lumber was looking for a place to come in. And I had saved about $10,000 while I was in Europe.
That was in the 40s, early 40s. That's a good bit of money.
Well, it was, but wasn't anything to spend money on over there.
Yeah.
So I borrowed 10 and I bought $20,000 worth of lumber and plumped it on the ground and said, I'm in the lumber business.
So how'd that go?
It picked up. It's still a good business.
It's still going.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Winsboro Builder Supply.
Who has that now?
Chip Broom is buying it. I still own about 51% of it.
Oh, so you still the boss, sort
I'm
of.
still the boss up there.
Okay, do you go to work?
And I sold the concrete plant. I went into the concrete business in 1956.
You remember, wasn't it Reg Wilson? Wasn't he in the concrete business in Chester?
Who?
Reg Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
He was a friend of Daddy's.
Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Reggie's father-in-law was Mr. J.C. Long in Charleston. Is that right?
I don't know that. I know he's had a daughter named Mitten who's a friend of mine.
Mr. Long had put the money in that concrete plant for Reggie. Yeah, I knew Reggie. And
so let's go back to your concrete. You had a concrete business. How'd that work out? Good?
you know, I've tried to figure. I expect I poured 1 million yards of concrete in my existence. It picked up. I poured all of the street work around, and then when Mack Truck came in, I poured Mack Truck and Ben Arnold.
Too bad that didn't stick around.
I
think the union killed that.
Well, Mack Truck had about 40-something thousand yards in it, and Ben Arnold had about 18 in it. Then they put I-77 in, and I poured all those bridges on I-77.
Who bought it from you?
Huh?
Who'd you sell out to?
Palmer Nicholson.
They still there?
He's still there, but...
He's still paying you, or did you get paid for that?
He paid me in cash.
Oh, that's pretty good. On again, so let's wait a minute. Let's go back to the concrete plant. So you sold it. They paid you in cash, but then you were going to tell me that I-77, you poured the bridges on 77.
Yeah.
And then the bridges at around Watery, Dutchman's Creek.
Taylor Creek.
Yeah. Third, I know when we're coming from Chester, we'd go, you'd go the first, second, third, you go, that's how we would identify, where to turn.
Well, that's the first three that you hit coming down to
yeah.
Great Falls. But in 1960-something, they came in to build the PC Summer. Well, it wasn't PC Summer. Daniel Construction Company had the job, and they put a little nuclear plant down at the dam at Parshos.
Yeah.
It was an experimental plant, 18,000.
You want to get that?
That's you or me?
That's you. I'll pause.
But Mr. Moose was the purchasing agent for Daniel Construction Company. He said, we're going to need concrete. Would you like to work with us? Yes, sir. He said, well, everything that goes into the concrete at that nuclear site will have to be tested to be sure it does not retain radioactivity. Radioactivity, Mr. Moose, what is that?
Yeah.
I didn't know it. But I poured the concrete on that dam down there. And
How many trucks did you have at one time?
I ran 6. But they moved up on the hill to put VC Summer in. And he said, you want to help us again? I said, yes, sir. So I worked 6 trucks over there for about 2 years. We poured down on the pump station. That pump station had 340,000 cubic yards of concrete in it.
Wow.
They had 2 batch plants, wide open. Some days they'd pour 2,000 yards of concrete.
Well, you didn't pour all of that. You had some help.
No.
You did a part of it.
Somebody had 6 and we had 12 trucks in there on that dam. But
who ran the batch plant? The construction company?
Well, the firm that came in to pour that thing was from Winston-Salem. And they had trouble getting the licenses cleared and everything. And before they could go, they went broke. So SCE&G picked up the contract. They owed me about $50,000. and they paid me, and I went to work for them, and I worked for them for about 2 years. But we poured a pile of concrete in there.
So you still in the lumber business, kinda?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. You got a good partner over there.
I have a good partner, Chip Broom, and little Alice. Alice is a little black girl, and they came to me about 30 years ago. I asked the
Is
teacher-
Ellis his partner?
huh?
Is she one of it? Is she his partner?
No, but she's smart and she gets along with people. She's good, but yeah, I go in there every day or so. You know, they're good to me. You know, getting old has its disadvantages.
Sure does.
But people are so good to you, huh?
Some of them. Some people are.
Well, I don't have
Some people
I
are.
don't have any enemies that I know of now.
Yeah. You got married when?
In May of 1943.
And your wife, where was she from?
She was from Columbia, McCall Printers.
I know McCall.
McCall, M-C-C-A-W.
They were a big printer.
Well, they'd been there for a long, long time.
Seems like I've seen their name in books.
2600 block of
Seems like I've seen their name in my relatives' books, maybe.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah, they were old family there. But
You had 3 children?
yeah, married in St. John's Church in Columbia,
What's St. John's? What kind of church?
Episcopal.
Yeah, that's where I grew up, in the Episcopal Church. That would have been where my mother and father got married.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's right by the Capitol?
No, it's out on. Let's see who is this coming
I'm not. You know who that is?
in. Yeah.
Get back, dog. Get back. Hey,
Texas.
how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey.
All right. You're looking for me.
How you doing? All right. You don't remember me? I'm Ernest.
Huh?
Ernest.
Ernest?
Yeah. Just cut your grass all the time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My memory is not as good as it used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to cut your grass, Miss Fox, Miss Bowell.
Yeah.
Used to do, turn your garden over.
Yeah.
I used to live right down in this big white house. I'm Ed Glover's grandson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
That's clear. Well, we're doing something here that I can't interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you need?
I just want to come by and see you and see how you was doing. I've been in Pennsylvania for the last 5 years.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Good, good.
Just getting older.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, if you see Miss Fox and Miss Bowell, tell them I say hello. Because I'm going back to Pennsylvania in the morning.
Yeah, well, Joe goes over there and helps her, Joe Green.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. You retired?
No, I'm still working.
Where do you work?
I work at the Red Lion Hotel in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
My goodness alive. I'm just placing who you were. Huh?
Yeah.
You've gotten older too.
Yeah, I'm 62.
Wow, you don't look 62.
Thank you, sir. I'm 62.
Yeah, you and I worked together for several years.
Mm-hmm.
You were living down there with the Davis.
Yeah, Miss Sarah Davis.
Well, now, are you in Pennsylvania still?
Yeah, I'm still up there. My father's still up there. My
In Scranton?
No, Harrisburg.
Harrisburg.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have you placed.
Mm-hmm.
You put on some weight. You were.
I put on too much weight. I'm 227. I dropped down from 240.
You did well after you went up there.
Yeah.
Huh?
I've been on one job for 5 years. Still in the hotel business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be doggone. Yeah, we did a lot of work together.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
We sure did.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get a chance to come by the last, but 2 years ago when I was down here, I said, I'm going to stop in this time and see how you doing.
I am glad to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And a brother in Pennsylvania, he moved up there to be with him.
What about your? So you got married at the Episcopal Church. It's not the one downtown in Columbia, and you had 3 daughters. I've met one of them.
Yeah,
They all 3 daughters still living.
yeah.
I see the picture up there.
That's the 3 daughters there. And,
No sons, just 3 daughters.
And 2 sons.
You got 2 sons.
2 sons, yeah.
Where are they?
Well, this is one of them. That little fellow right there. That's Johnny. He's the youngest one.
How old is he?
In his 50s.
Okay.
He is at the accelerator at Los Alamos where they split the atom.
What's he? What kind of scientist is he? Is he kind of like a nuclear engineer or something?
He went to Virginia Polytechnic Institute and studied. He's an electrical engineer.
Smart.
You better believe it.
So he wasn't interested in splitting lumber.
He's a little fella, but these people work for him. They run the accelerator. That thing is a half-mile long. They put an atom in and shoot it down there, and when it hits the other end, it's going at 80% the speed of light, and it disintegrates. They make the radioisotopes for hospitals, do a lot of weapons work.
Yeah, you don't really know what happens at Los Alamos.
That's
They
right.
can't tell you. They have to kill you, right?
That's exactly right. That's where they built the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
What they tell you is But
And you have another son. Where is he?
he was going to run the builder's supply, and he came to me and said, "I'm 57 years old and I'm burned out." So I took over, and I was about 80 then. So I went back to work. Well, I had never quit. But he's here. He retired, lives on the farm down in Simpson.
Where's Simpson? Is that in Fairfield County?
Yeah, it's between here and Ridgeway.
Okay.
I had that farm my father had left me. A little over 1,000 acres in it.
That's a nice farm.
Oh yeah, beautiful place. So
he hangs out in the woods.
about 25 years ago, I surveyed it into parcels like a pie and gave each one of the children about 250 acres. So
They all still have it?
yeah, I told them, I said, now if you're going to sell it, I'll buy it back from you. Don't dispose of it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, don't break it up.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, we have a family farm that's been in the family, was a plantation, it's been in the family since the 1700s, so.
Where is it?
Bamberg.
Bamberg.
Yeah. From my father's mother's side of the family. The Sims.
Bamberg.
Yeah. A lot of swamps and alligators and big spiders. Bugs. So, you got married. When did she pass? Your wife, when did she pass?
About 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. She was in the invalid for about 10 years.
That's tough.
Bedridden. I had round-the-clock care, kept her here, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am glad I did.
Yeah.
The hospice helped me some, but I had good help round the clock, and it let me keep on working.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That's the right thing to do if you can do it.
Well, I'm sure I did the right thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you go out. You're gonna go. When you going out Saturday night? You
Yeah,
go to Blackstop.
yeah,
Friday
Friday
night.
night.
Okay.
Yeah, you ought to come down there.
I'm gonna bring my wife down there so she can hang
Well,
out with you.
Just get down there. They have the meal is about 6 o'clock. You don't have to bring anything. It doesn't cost anything. Just come in and participate.
Do you check your messages when somebody leaves your recording? Do you check your messages? You check your messages when somebody leaves a recording
Yeah.
on your phone?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I did. That's how you called me back.
I got your message.
Okay. 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 I'm gonna end the recording. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna quit taping you now. Okay. Anything else you want to tell me before I cut it off? Anything else you want to tell me before I cut the phone off?
Well,
Cut the camera off?
I worked with all your bridge builders up there.
Triplet.
Tom Triplet.
Tom, Fred.
Triplet and Peak.
Yep, Fred Triplet.
Johnny Peak. Johnny,
Tom Peak.
yeah. And,
You remember Lewis Ryan?
oh yeah. L.R. Ryan.
John Barrett?
Yeah.
Remember those guys?
I poured bridges for all of them on one place.
You know,
another.
Jim Triplet does that now.
Yeah.
The son. I mean, Tom's son, baby boy.
Yeah. They tell me he doesn't really tend to things like his daddy did.
Well, I think he's tending to him now. I'm gonna end the recording. Anything else you want to tell me?
No.
Okay.